Hey everyone, so the Luna 7 beta is fully underway and there's a lot of theory crafting happening for the three new characters, Nicole, Lohan, and Prune. But on top of all the normal beta information about character kits and whatnot that is normally available to be analyzed, this time there was some additional info data mined from the beta that I don't think Hoyoverse intended to show this early. So I wanted to talk about what was revealed and the possible future implications of that info, along with all the kit info about Nicole, Lohan, and Prune that we usually get in the patch Luna 7 beta. Diona's C6 specifically was data mined to receive a change. Currently, this is how her C6 looks like. Her burst gives increased healing bonus when a character in it is below 50% HP, or it gives an EM buff if they are above 50% HP. In the beta files, however, her C6 has some newly added text. It says, additionally, Diona gets 25% more HP, and characters within Diona's burst also deal 20% increased stellar conduct, super conduct, and cryo swirl damage. So Hoyoverse themselves literally just confirmed a brand new reaction, stellar conduct. And this doesn't seem lunar related at all, otherwise it would probably have been called lunar conduct. So these stellar reactions are likely a completely brand new type of reaction that will probably be a major part of the next region, Snezhnaya. And personally, I think Hoyoverse adding this Diona C6 change in this beta was completely unintended and it was released a patch too early. While Diona is a Mondstadt character, this added change is not based on any new Hexarai related buffs. There was an earlier rumor that was spreading around that there was going to be a second wave of Hexarai character buffs for older characters, including characters like Eula and Lisa, for the Nicole patch based on some potential new merch that Hoyoverse was going to release. However, there is no info on any new Hexarai related buffs in the Luna 7 beta, so it's unlikely that this second wave of Hexarai buffs actually exists. And Diona wasn't even on the list for characters allegedly going to get buffs. This change to Diona is almost certainly made in preparation for the introduction of stellar conduct in patch Luna 8, similar to how Genshin updated many older passives so that lunar reactions would work with older character kits. For example, Navia's elemental skill now working with lunar crystallize and not just regular crystallize. The introduction of the stellar conduct likely to serve as a buff to super conduct in patch Luna 8 is pretty much confirmed, as one of the new sets releasing in patch Luna 7 is super conduct related and has text saying that it will give additional bonuses for some future mechanic in Snezhnaya. The existence of a stellar conduct perfectly fits with this release, and will likely be the major mechanic of Sandrone's kit, who is currently rumored to be the character of patch Luna 8. But remember, all of this super conduct related stuff is slated for patch Luna 8, while the Nicole patch is Luna 7. So us still being in the beta for patch Luna 7, and us seeing Diona receiving a change to her C6, is in my opinion likely a dev pulling the trigger on the change a bit too early for everyone to see. It would make much more sense for this Diona C6 change to be added in patch Luna 8 with the release of Sandrone and all the super conduct related stuff. Now the big question is, what is stellar conduct going to do, and what will these stellar reactions be in general? Obviously, we have no concrete idea of what stellar reactions do yet. We only just got name confirmation of stellar conduct in the files, but we can speculate on what the reactions may do. Stellar reactions sound very similar to the lunar reactions that were released in nod-krai, Lunar Charge, Lunar Bloom, and Lunar Crystallize. These reactions were definitely interesting, with some dealing unique reaction damage by triggering the reaction, and characters dealing direct lunar damage with their abilities. However, there is also some very understandable criticism of the lunar reactions, such as them being locked by pulling 5-star characters, them not changing the reaction that much, and of course the enemy shield that came with it. Stellar reactions could just be another form of lunar reactions. I personally hope this isn't the case, as I think this would be just boring. Hoyoverse, to their credit, has consistently introduced new mechanics with the release of every region. For example, Sumeru had Dendro, Fontaine had HP draining and Usi and Numa, Nalan had Night Soul, and of course nod-krai's lunar reactions. So it would be pretty weird if stellar reactions in Snezhnaya work very similar to lunar reactions in the previous region. The devs do have the capability to cook something up to make these stellar reactions feel more different and interesting, but I can also see Hoyoverse just copying the same design style of the lunar reactions. My more pessimistic side makes me feel like this is the more likely scenario though, so I do expect stellar reactions to be only available if you pull certain characters, have the same direct damage from character abilities, and may even scale with EM. On top of that, with the confirmation of a new set of reactions called Stellar instead of Lunar, I fully expect Hoyoverse to take advantage of this new mechanic to design enemies that are specifically only countered by Stellar reactions, just like how there are enemies that specifically favor Lunar reactions. Of course, we don't know if Stellar reactions are going to be the same as Lunar reactions, but there are some things that suggest that they will be similar. The new Super Conduct set specifically increases the damage of the Super Conduct reaction. The set may also increase Stellar Conduct reaction damage as well, suggesting that there is going to be some direct reaction damage that takes advantage of this, like lunar damage. In addition, the only observed update regarding stellar conduct was for Diona. So why specifically Diona? They could have chose any other character. It could be because her C6 buffs EM, suggesting that stellar reactions are going to have EM scaling just like the lunar reactions. Sitlali's C2 also gives EM, but she already has a niche for buffing hydro and pyro damage, so it does make sense that she wouldn't be included. And it also makes sense that they are focusing on cryo characters specifically, because superconduct reaction damage is cryo damage, not electro damage. Now, with this confirmed reveal of stellar conduct in the beta files, some rumors did come out of the existence of other new reactions coming with Snezhnaya. Along with stellar conduct, there may be the introduction of stellar swirl and a dendro plus cryo reaction, all cryo related reactions, which makes sense for the region of the cryo archon. Now, unlike stellar conduct, which is confirmed with the datamine Diona C6 update, these reactions are technically still rumors, so take their existence with a grain of salt. First, dendro plus cryo reacting is interesting as they currently don't have an existing reaction other than the fridge mechanic, which practically isn't that good. There was Rhymegrass in Imaginarium Theater that allowed the two elements to react, which people seemed to like. The reaction was quite unique as it had dot damage and also interacted with Electro to either focus more on the Electro side or buff Cryo, Dendro, Electro, and physical damage while also buffing Elemental Mastery. Now, considering Rhymegrass wasn't specifically named makes me think that the new reaction isn't Rhymegrass but will do something different, something just for Cryo and Dendro and not incorporating Electro. But nevertheless, this reaction could make waves since there's just no real reaction that exists between the two elements currently. Theoretically, a Dendro and Cryo reaction could allow you to run instructors on Diona and Sitlali on a Nefer team, but that assumes that you don't need to add a new character to enable the new reaction, which may not be the case. The other alleged reaction is Stellar Swirl, which is likely just Anemo plus Cryo and not the other elements. Obviously, we don't know what this will do, but one thing that comes into mind that may benefit from this reaction specifically are Cryo Varka teams. They currently don't have the greatest synergy as you're kind of just running Escoffier as the best option, even without her Hydro and Cryo passive active since she's just the best character available for a cross support. So Varka could fit in a new Snezhnaya Cryo or Anemo character that enables the reaction, assuming this is the requirement, and take advantage of this new stellar reaction. Now, even though the reactions other than stellar conduct are not confirmed yet, the existence of all three is quite believable, as specifically Stellar Swirl is also indirectly confirmed with the update to Diona C6. To give a little bit of context, in patch 5.8, Genshin released Flameforge Insight, a free event claymore coinciding with the release of Anefa. On its release, the passive gave you energy and elemental mastery if the wearer triggered Electrocharge, Lunar Charge, or Bloom. Now if we look at the weapon now, the passive now also includes Lunar Bloom, Crystallize, and Lunar Crystallize. The weapon originally had Electrocharge and Lunar Charge already because Anefa was released on that patch. But the weapon only had regular Bloom originally. Only after Lalmo was released was Lunar Bloom added to the passive, and then Crystallize and Lunar Crystallize were added when Columbina made the reaction first accessible. Now let's take a look at the current updated Diona C6. It increases the damage of Stellar Conduct and Superconduct, that makes sense, but it also just buffs Cryo Swirl. So, judging by the fact that Flameforge Insight had normal Bloom in its passive until Lunar Bloom was released, it makes a lot of sense that the reason Cryo Swirl is here right now is because the stellar version of the reaction, Stellar Swirl, will be releasing in the future patches as well. So with just one small update to Diona C6 in the patch Luna 7 beta files, which I personally believe was unintentional and added a patch too early, Hoyoverse may themselves have leaked what is to come after nod-krai as we head into Snezhnaya. But of course, we'll just have to wait and see what actually happens in the future. So what do you all think about this new quote-unquote leaked info? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below and whether you disagree or agree with what I'm currently thinking. I hope you enjoyed this unique discussion and speculation type video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.